Hart and Jenkins were quiet from the floor for so long. Were you worried that at some point they would do what they did?
Yeah, as talented as they are, I thought we defended pretty well. Of course, they missed some looks, but we were good most of the way. I think we kind of let them get going when we had some turnovers that led to some transition buckets, and then they got to the line. They're hard to keep out of the lane. They started to get into the paint on us because they're so lethal with that outside shot. You got to press up on them. But those guys made some big plays, and we had chances. London's three rattled in and out. Ty's three was in and out. We missed a block out at the end, and played long stretches of good basketball for long periods of time, but just enough breakdowns to not be able to come away with the victory.
Okay. Mike.
You mentioned Ty with the three, he had the layup there that gave you the lead, huge minutes for him. What was it about this game that you trusted him? What have you seen from his development?
If you watch the Notre Dame game, he's been steady. I mean, he's a gamer. He doesn't wow you with his athleticism, good size, good feel. Got off to a great start knocking down those threes and just made some tough plays. He got people off of him and those little floaters in the lane. I mean, we needed all of that. London was getting, defended hard. And, again, guys played well for long stretches. And we'll grow from that and we'll learn from, some of those loose turnovers or a couple breakdowns defensively. But they put a lot of pressure on you with five guards out there at the end. But Ty, again, he stepped up and played beyond his freshman status.
Okay. Andrew and then Doug.
Tony, a couple times this year that this has happened. I don't know if it's been this much of a discrepancy. You guys took 3 free throws, they took 24. I know London had some tough drives to the hole. Did you want to be more aggressive there? What did you make of that?
We were trying to, when we could. We got some real good open looks. You had to take those. We don't just pound it inside and go to work. We tried to get in there, and whether Villanova did a good job of jumping up and getting away, or there was some bumping. Jack got called for a tough one on that foul. I have to watch the tape and see, but yeah, that's a big discrepancy. And that's hard. I think it was 8-2 for a while in the foul count. We couldn't, they were playing aggressive. We were trying to bounce it, but just couldn't get there as much as perhaps we needed to.
Doug.
Not long after you took the lead to 13, London got it, I think either his third foul. He was out for a long time there. What was your strategy there? Yeah,
I wanted to get him under the 8-minute media timeout. I think the lead was 9 when he went back in, or did they hit? I think it was to look 7, 9, whatever. I think it was 9. But Ty was doing a good job. The guys were holding in there, and as aggressive as Brunson is off the dribble, and really, pick your poison. I didn't want him picking up a fourth one. I knew we'd have to probably go the rest of the way with him at the 8-minute mark, and I almost put him in earlier, but I think the lead stayed for the most part where it was still okay. But we had a few guys with foul trouble, and I would love to have gotten Jack in there at the end, but they did not. All guards they had on the floor.
Okay, take one right here.
Tony, it's only minutes after the game, but what do you think you get out of this going forward?
I mean, you play against a team of that caliber. I mean, as well coached and as good as those guys are, obviously we all know what they did last year and how good they are. It's a different kind of team, and there's so many different styles in the ACC. Virginia Tech is terrific. They'll play 4 guards, 5 guards, so it makes you play in a way that's challenging, and it really keeps you on point defensively. And again, it was a great atmosphere. And we had our chances, and we'll grow from it. And that's, I hope it was good for both of us. I wish we could have come away with a win, but it's middle of the season or a little bit past. Hopefully, again, it'll be good for us down the stretch.
Take one over here to the left.
Hart and Jenkins got out to combine a 0-14 start. Was that something that you guys kind of came into? What was our game plan for you guys? You guys kind of had to shut them down, or was it just a matter of them, not getting shots?
Well, I mean, they're really good players against Marquette. I thought they'd be refocused. They struggled to shoot the ball against Marquette. And, I mean, we try to make everybody shoot a contested shot, and they missed some early. I thought we were defending well for the most part early. And then, obviously, they got some looks. Once we broke down a little bit late, they took advantage of it. That's what good players do, that out-of-bounds play. It was tough. We were playing it a certain way. It's a tricky out-of-bounds play. And Jenkins, the good call, they backed him out, and we got stuck on the screen, and we couldn't get to it. That was, I think, where they went up 1. But you got to guard them. No, we didn't expect them to miss shots.
Okay, Andrew.
So just your overall impression of that last play. I know that You got hurt to miss the shot, but the guy was in tip in.
So many times that happens. We talked about try to make them earn, block out. Guys will be flying in there. That guy who tipped it in, he went flying in on the baseline, streamed in. I think that might have been Ty's block out. I have to watch the tape. I mean, Ty made so many big plays. Again, we were trying to not foul. We talked about that, and I wish it was 0.2 of a second, a little slower, but it wasn't. Guarded it pretty well. Again, they kept getting into our paint later, and that's tough. But yeah, I wish we would have checked them off and been playing maybe right now.
Doug.
That was what I was going to ask.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you. Oh.
Just real quick, last 2 games, Isaiah Wilkins really come on, played really well. He was 6 for 6 from the field tonight. Some big blocks, almost a double-double again. What has he brought to the lineup that you really...
He's so active. We talked about unity, being unified. I said, we're in the city of brotherly love. And I said, and that's unity. And I said, but that unity's got to carry over because we have a real unified team. It's one of our pillars. But we talked about how we'll defend. Will we be together? How we'll share and play unified basketball defensively. And he's kind of he spearheads that. He's such a glue guy. He's such a team guy. And then we talked about being active, having life, being alive. And I thought he brought both of those in a big-time way. His activity and just, doing whatever it takes. And, yes, 2 good games in a row for sure.
Oh, we got 2 more, real quick.
What's it say about them, the Harden Jenkins not making anything for 30 minutes and, to come back in a game like that? Is their experience?
Really good players, and we probably had some breakdowns, but they made some tough shots. And, you can only keep shooters like that at bay for so long. And, again, I think some of our turnovers hurt us. They upped the ante defensively, and they stretched it out. But hats off to how they made some plays down the stretch. Games come down to late. Our kid Jerome made a few plays. We had some plays being made, and they made the plays.
All right, last question, Paul.
Tony, you obviously would rather win, but you have so many guys who are willing to take big shots at big moments. Devin, Mariel, London, obviously, and Jerome. Is that an encouraging sign for you?
Yeah, it has to be. Again, we don't always go into the post and score, so everybody's got to be willing when the ball moves. And I mentioned those 2 looks we got where the ball rattled in and out. Those were great looks, right out of an out of bounds, side out of bounds, and maybe that would have changed the course. But they absolutely were stepping up and taking them with confidence.
Thanks, Tony.